Hi, this is Bob at Reality Training. Senior leaders, how effective are your video conferences and your meetings? We spoke to an old friend of ours in Munich a couple of weeks ago, and he told us yet another story that we're hearing about a series of ineffective and poorly organised video conferences and meetings, and how frustrating this is. Because at the moment, this is how we need to do business, and if we can't make those meetings and conferences effective and moving forward in terms of what we want to achieve, then there's very little point in having them. And it's important that we get value from the time that we have using these systems. So if we think back to a few weeks ago when all this was pretty new, then there was a bit of a novelty to this, and it was forgivable to not be very good on these sorts of platforms. But now we need to make these things work for us. And I've got a series of tips that I'm going to take you through over the next couple of weeks that will help these conferences run far more effectively. So many of your employees will treat these meetings a bit like they used to treat conference calls. So conference calls, which many of you are probably still running, we all know what it's like. People are off doing other things. They're completing other tasks whilst they're listening on the conference call. But you can't do that on video conferencing. You've got to engage differently. So there's a number of things we can do, and I think you need to save time on them too. The first tip, and it's the biggest tip of all, agendas. Every single meeting must have an agenda. But, and here's the big but, not just a list of topics. Because if you send me a list of topics, I'll look at the ones that affect me and I'll completely ignore the other areas, and that's not going to be very effective because I'm going to be sitting there not really engaged. Send your agenda out in advance, at least a day in advance, and put your opinions of what you think about these various areas on that agenda in brief, and ask everybody else to do the same. And make sure that that completed memo comes to everybody who's coming to that meeting in advance of that conference, and everyone needs to read it. All the different areas and everyone's opinion on those subjects. Then have your meeting. You will have a much briefer, much more engaged and much more effective meeting as a result. It means you've got to organise your time differently and everybody else's time differently, but that will make a massive difference to the meetings that you're having. Now that's just one tip, but it's a really important one, and I hope you can take it on board and do something with it. It's time management, but it's also going to be much better for everybody else on that video conference. So more of these over the coming days. Bob Morell, Reality Training.